of a variance. 227 today, and he said really that he feels the best at about 240, so we'll see what this weight does for him.
And here's our computer toy punch stat, which gives you a statistical profile of the fighters. Here you can see what Tucker and Douglas have done against some recent opponents. They throw about the same number of punches. Tucker has landed more. Tucker is the sharper and more athletic fighter. Oddly enough, Douglas throws more jabs than Tucker does, but he is going to have to out-hustle Tucker, wear him down in 15 rounds to win this fight.
Let's take a look at the rules in this one. And of course, the most important rule, which is not here, which Larry just mentioned, 15 rounds. We're going a long way in this one. 10-point must system. 3 judges will score the fight. The referee does not score. There will not be a standing 8 count. Fighter can be saved with the bell only in the final round, and the 3 knockdown rule has been waived. Now let's get to the action. We'll go to the center of the ring. The ring announcer here in Las Vegas, Chuck Hull, and we'll meet the fighters. Chuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the International Boxing Federation at ringside this evening is that body's president, Mr. Bobby Lee of New Jersey, and supervising for that body is Mr. Al Goodman from the state of Florida. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the next event of the night. The judges are Chuck Giampa of Las Vegas, Nevada, Ed Levine of Miami, Florida, and Glenn Hamada of Seattle, Washington. The timekeeper is Jane Broadfoot. Counting at the knockdowns, Mike Lachella, and your referee is Mills Lane. This is the semi-main event of the evening. 15 rounds of boxing for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing in the blue corner, fighting out of Columbus, Ohio, weighing in at 227 1/4 pounds, with a professional record of 23 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 1 no decision, with 15 KOs. He's ranked number 2 in the world by the IBF. Ladies and gentlemen, here is James Buster Douglas. And in the red corner, from Houston, Texas, weighing 222 1/4 pounds. His professional record consists of 33 wins, no defeats, 1 no decision, with 28 KOs. He is rated number 1 by the IBF. Here is heavyweight Tony Tucker.
All right, team one out. Here we go. Right here. Okay. Backing up, please. Wait till I get there. All right, here we go. Now, we've been through the instructions in the dressing room already. Any questions for Mr. Douglas or his chief second? Any questions, Mr. Tucker or his chief second? Let's get it going. All right, we're all set to go.
Ray, according to Douglas, these two fellows have sparred perhaps 100 rounds over the years. You think that will have any effect on this fight?
I doubt very seriously, Larry, because I think now it's a different story. I think both guys have developed, and this first round should indicate that.
Buster Douglas said first round was very important to him because it would indicate whether or not he has to chase Tony Tucker. He doesn't want to have to chase him if he could help it. Right now, Tucker's right there for him.
Come on, Tony.
I can tell by the way that Buster Douglas is just sticking out his left jab. A lot of snap, a lot of power. There's a big difference because with Tony Tucker is more so the mover, more so the boxer. He's more apt to stay on his toes a little bit, although now he's flat-footed. His punch is not as devastating as Buster Douglas.
So many times that one win can really turn a fighter's career. And in Buster Douglas's case, he really was, I think it's fair to call him a mediocre fighter up until the time he beat Greg Page. Now maybe it was a descending Greg Page, but nevertheless, it had to give him a lot of confidence. And that wasn't a bad right hand. Another confidence builder.
Double it up there. There you go, Chad. Put it together now. So, step and go. There you go.
Yesterday, I speak with both guys. They both were debating who had the quicker hands of the two. And I think it's both guys have the same amount of speed behind their punch.
Tucker is going to have to at least get Douglas's attention, or Douglas will know that he can basically walk right through Tucker.
Well, also with Douglas' style, he's more of a plotter. He walks in and tends to wear his man down. I think here against Tony Tucker, he has to be a little more aggressive and to cut the ring off. The problem a lot of guys have made, even Marvin Hagler made the same mistake. The problem with me, you have to cut the ring off. And cutting the ring off, I'm not meaning just actually following the guy around the ring. You step to the right, you step to the left. Just shorten the ring up.
Really good combination there by Douglas. Came with the right hand behind the jab. It's been extremely warm here in Las Vegas today, and we have a thermometer with us at ringside, and it is 90 degrees even though the sun is starting to set. It was up about 104 just about a half hour ago. First round, we're going 15 here.
What I see in Douglas is the fact he drops that left hand. It's a bad habit. What Tucker should do, should throw a jab to the body and then counter with the right hand.
Tucker got a quick left hand in at the bell.
I thought that Douglas was a much more positive force in that round. Much more determined to take the fight.
Because you hit me with the jab, but you got to keep on jabbing. You understand? And don't try to stop. See, then he threw it 1-2 there. Give me a little ring here with the ball. You want to leave the mouthpiece in? Yeah, leave the mouthpiece in. It's all right. It's all right. Now you just spit. What spit bucket at? Give us a spit. Move your head a little bit. Move your head. Bucket right there. Double the jab, change your pace. No, you'd been there. You understand? Because you turn it over, but you didn't put a whip with it.
There you see Douglas's father, Billy Douglas, giving him instructions.
Yeah, okay, get a little bit up more moving and do it. Okay?
And there is Tony Tucker's father, an onlooker. This is Michigan and Ohio State, Barry. Tony Tucker from Detroit. Buster Douglas from Columbus, Ohio.
And oddly enough, it's Tony Tucker who's wearing the Ohio State colors. He's wearing the scarlet and gray, and that's what what Douglas was going to wear.
Good stinging jab by Buster Douglas. And also the reason he gets that snap is he steps in with his punches. A lot of guys, especially having the heavyweight division, as they jab and they back away because they don't want to get hit. Douglas is a different story. He's stepping in with the punch. Makes a major difference in the power.
Again, I feel that Tucker is going to have to at least get Douglas's attention, or Douglas is really going to start to take control of this fight.
I thought the left hook by Tony Tucker pretty much got a little respect just before the bell sounded. Good shot to the body. But see what you have to do, what Tucker should be doing rather, is putting his punches together instead of just throwing one particular shot. You need to throw punches in bunches.
Those are both on the arms.
More consistent jab by Douglas. In fact, it is surprising that Douglas is jabbing the boxer and Tucker.
Douglas is snapping that jab pretty well, too. It's not a lazy jab at all.
Well, what he's doing, Barry, he's going up and down. He's going downstairs. He's bringing it back upstairs. And now, again, surprisingly, he's starting to outbox Tony Tucker. I expected to see more left jabs by Tucker. Tucker had a very impressive career as an amateur.
He has a style that really befits an amateur fighter, a good amateur fighter. There was a left hook by Tucker, and it wasn't a bad one, and that definitely did get Douglas's attention.
I see Tucker's a little bit too straight up for me. I think he should bend a little bit more at the knees. He won't be as susceptible to punches. You notice how he stands straight up. All you have to do is throw a straight jab and it's going to land as he runs into you. There's a jab again.
Now we talked about what a good amateur Tucker is, and Tucker slips down. Now this is a man that has hurt his knee in a fight and was down for 15 months as a result of that.
Yes, and though he's officially unbeaten, Barry, the hand of his opponent was raised after that fight, but through some successful politicking later on, the decision was thrown out.
Wait a minute. He slowed down.
Let's take a look and see how that happened. He was backpedaling from a right hand, and as you saw, his leg slip back onto the press table here.
It was back in 1982, in August of 82, that he dislocated his knee in the third round of a fight with Danny Sutton. The fight was ruled no contest, and he didn't fight for 15 months after that.
I do get the feeling, Ray, that they know each other very well, and there's still a bit of a feeling out process, trying to see which one can assert dominance, and neither one willing to throw caution away yet.
I said earlier that, you know, the guys had sparred some few years ago, and they pretty much know each other, but yet they've changed. But I doubt very seriously. I think the way they're approaching this fight here, that either fight has changed at all.
That was a right-hand lead by Douglas that started that little flurry.
We see now a more aggressive Douglas. And this is the type of fight that's going to win for him. He's going to need to back up Tucker and work the body. Yes, I'd like to see more body shots thrown by Buster Douglas. He seemed to be the big of the two and the strong of the two. The mistake a lot of fighters make, Barry, they don't get that instant respect. And the only way you can make a fighter respect you is to hop right on at times, or sting with a good punch.
Douglas right now is fighting like a guy who's been here before, and he hasn't. He hasn't been in any situation that even resembles this. Countering right hand by Tucker that time.
Well, Douglas still plotting in, but what's happening as he gets in with his right hand, whether it lands or not, he spreads his stance a little too wide. That's why he can't come back with the left hook. And you'll notice that from time to time he throws a punch, and then all of a sudden he appears to be off balance. Good body shot by Tucker. Now the hands of Douglas are starting to drop. Again, Barry, you notice Douglas' hands are to his side now, at his waist.
Tucker's starting to find the head of Douglas.
Again, you notice that Douglas is off balance, and again, that's because of his stance. He throws the right hand, and he brings that right foot up to left foot. Douglas is indeed fighting the right hand. A counter right hand would land.
Good double hook. Tucker. One fell a little bit short. That right hand of Douglas is a little bit short also.
Tucker looks a little bit tense and stiff to me, Ray. I don't know, to your trained eye, whether that's true or not.
Well, he seems like he's waiting too long to get his punches off.
And coming up, The big one for the WBA and WBC titles, champion Mike Tyson, challenger Pinklin Thomas. The once champion, will he be a future champion? And there in his locker room is Mr. Tyson. Gold shining from his mouth and from his fists, iron.
No freedom. Don't get no freedom there. If you do anything, you shake one out. Don't give him nothing freedom because you stand there boxing him. You just go on and make the shuffle over here where you can get him the punch and then catch him in the angle. Okay? Peace.
Get him out of here in this corner. Come on.
So we start the 4th round. Tucker in the red, Douglas in the white. This for the IBF championship.
That 1 minute rest gave Douglas a breath of fresh air. You notice his hands are back up there. It's important in the corner to know how to revive a fighter.
Oh, Tuck, get him up. Come on, get him up.
And Mills Lane warns Tucker of low blows.
Tucker should be throwing more jabs instead of trying to be so defensive. And that's the reason Douglas is coming in.
You know, we've talked about the heavyweight division ad nauseum, but earlier we saw a fight between James Broad and Greg Page. It was truly one of the great dogs I've ever seen. And here's a couple of young fighters. So far, both doing a pretty good job. Both showing a pretty good jab.
Well, we see some fresh faces here, and also these guys quite naturally have the potential to become better once they sharpen their tools up.
Incidentally, Greg Page won a decision over James Broad, one that was debated by just about this entire audience of some 12,000 people. Horrible decision, if you'll pardon one man's opinion.
With Tucker, the mistake Tucker's making, and the reason he's not landing consistently is because he's throwing one punch. There he attempted to throw a left hook to the body. He needs to throw both hands. Because if one doesn't land, the other will. Again, Barry knows the right hand landed, but he can come back with the left hook.
Now, it looks to me, Ray, like Tucker might have stepped in about a step here. He looks to me as though he's starting just a little bit closer to Douglas.
He's picked the pace up quite naturally. And I noticed that Douglas is moving away, starting to back away.
See, right here, he's just about, I'd say, 2-3 feet away from Douglas, where earlier he was probably 4 or 5 feet away from him.
And talking to someone like a bitter man who's never been given just due. I mean, this is a big opportunity, and maybe his last opportunity, so I think he better take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's what he said. He feels this is his only shot. He feels if he loses this time, he's not going to get a second try at it. And he said, they're going to have to carry me out of here.
Hey, that's right here.
My muscle, I feel tight.
Which one?
Left arm.
Southeastern, middle corner of the ring, please.
You're too damn tight. You gotta loosen yourself up.
Harold Letterman, our unofficial, official. How do you score the fight so far?
Larry, I've got a 3-1 for Tony Tucker. I think he grabbed the last 3 rounds by scoring the harder jabs, and if anybody's throwing combinations, I think Tony Tucker's doing it. Buster's only throwing one at a time.
Well, you and I disagree for one of the few times, Harold. I have it exactly the opposite. Douglas ahead 3 rounds to 1.
Hang on. Face this thing. Just don't stand and box with him. You gotta break him out. Okay?
10 seconds.
You think you will pull out on when he jab? Move in sometime,
I think you probably heard in Tucker's corner. Tucker himself said, my muscles feel tight. I can't get myself loose.
Well, that's the reason. I figured that there was something wrong because Tucker has a better jab than he's displaying here. Good right hand by Douglas, and he's not using it that much. A lot of guys make the mistake of not really loosening up in the dressing room. And that's a horrible mistake because once you come out here, it's time to go to work.
Now, see, we've always talked about the officiating here in Las Vegas. Now, you're saying that Tucker's not using his jab, and yet when we talk to Harold Letterman between rounds, he says he is using his jab, and that's why he has him ahead. That's what makes boxing, I guess.
Well, no, what I mean, Barry, is the fact he's not using it enough. He's using it quite naturally, but I've seen more consistent left jabs from Tony Tucker. It appears that Tucker wants to go double jab. He's starting to just feint with the jabs, pity pat. He needs to put a little snap behind it.
Douglas seems to be the stronger puncher of the two at this juncture of the fight.
But Douglas is taking the leverage off his punches. I mean, he's just using brute strength now. Because again, he puts both feet together, which takes away the power of his punches. What Tucker should do, as he come in, throw an uppercut. Catch him coming in, catch him leaning in.
Douglas trying an uppercut, came with the left hand behind it.
Barry, that was a good example there of catching Douglas on the way in. That's what he needs to do, catch him on the way in. There, again, a good shot of him putting both feet together. This is when you can create a knockdown because you're off balance.
There's a quick right hand by Tucker.
But he needs to throw more than one there.
And there was a good combination with a left hand rock Tucker.
He's hurt there.
And now Douglas presses him. Is he pressing him enough? 20 seconds remaining in this round. Can Tucker get through it? Still seems to be hurt.
He was definitely rocked by that punch.
Obviously, Douglas didn't think he was hurt that much. He didn't really go after him.
Douglas went to college briefly, at junior college, as a power forward, and he showed some of the power right there. I thought he stopped Tucker right in his tracks, but he didn't follow up. And let's take a look at it right here. The right followed by a left high hand head, and there you see Tucker's legs buckling. I'd have to say the rebound went to Douglas. And another view of the same thing, a right hand. He's been much more liberal with his right hands. He's taking more chances, Ray. And I think in the end that can influence the judges. Tucker has been just too controlled almost.
Well, a lot of times fighters don't know how to steal rounds.
Sometimes go forward. Relax. Okay.
Here we go.
Well, you saw those punch stat numbers that not only is Tucker not sticking the jab out very much, but when he is sticking it out, he's not scoring with it. He only scored with 2 out of 14.
Well, you know, I stated it's stealing a round. In fact, the way that Douglas can steal rounds by hurting Tony Tucker, and he did that. Good right hand.
And left behind him.
Douglas now is putting his punches together. He's not just throwing one punch, he's coming back with something.
There was another left hand that caught Tucker backing up.
One step back, please. One step back.
Now you notice Douglas is not showing any type of respect for Tony Tucker, so Tucker has to initiate some respect now.
Step back clean. Come on, here we go.
He has to stand his ground and nail Douglas coming in.
When you say nail him coming in, Tucker doesn't really seem to step in too much. There was a right hand by Tucker. A counter behind the jab, you mean?
Well, as Douglas is rushing in, because again, going back to what I stated earlier, being off balance, you can catch a man with any particular shot, more so the inside punching. A right hand would be a good punch to throw on Douglas because that left hand of his is dropping.
There was a big left hand by Douglas. That was a great shot.
Douglas is beating Tucker on brute strength, just outpowered. You see what I mean, Barrett? This is all strength.
Mills Lane warning Douglas about a butt.
I like when Douglas comes back with this. He finishes up his combinations with the left hook. He has a tendency to do it on occasions, but he doesn't do it often enough.
Sharp jab by Douglas. Good round for Douglas.
Again, the left hook. He follows up with the left hook. I think that's going to be his bread and butter.
Well, again, coming back to the word that you used earlier, respect, and Tony Tucker is just not showing Douglas that he can hurt him.
Buster Douglas is a 3-to-1 underdog, fighting, in my judgment, like a 3-to-1 favorite.
Good round, good round, good round, good round, good round. Good round, good round, good round. You're starting to feel, you ain't got second wheel yet, Kev. You still just, still to go. Good, that's good. Take a look at this right there.
There you see 2 punches thrown and missed. Douglas follows up with a left hand right there. One more time. Same result.
Taking a little faked on him, taking a wicket.
Turn your head this way so I get the sound.
Pop it good, right hand, left hook, break right back at it again with it.
Step into the guy.
And step with the jab.
Little anxiety in Tucker's corner, I would think.
Telling him to step in, which he hasn't done, as we mentioned in the previous round.
We will have a heavyweight champion in this fight, but we'll have an inexperienced heavyweight champion. So after this fight, they must really handpick their fighters.
Unfortunately, the most likely to be picked is a fellow named Tyson. And that would not be the one that you would handpick.
That's an unfortunate situation there. Douglas should rip some of those jabs to the body, to the midsection, or to the chest area. Let us slow down Tony Tucker just a little bit more so that left hook of his can land.
There was a right hand by Douglas, and again. And right behind it with another. And Tucker in trouble bouncing off the ropes.
Douglas should stay there. Now, he needs to stay close to Tucker. Because if anything, he's trying to wear his man down.
Well, again, it's just obvious that Buster Douglas just has no respect whatsoever for Tony Tucker. He just doesn't think he could be hurt by Tucker's punches. Tucker hasn't shown him that he can.
Well, I expect a little bit more from Tony Tucker, and I don't see that much from him. With Douglas, Douglas is initiating the control of the fight. He's putting power behind his punches.
Okay, we step back to me now. Step back. Here we go. Get him off. Come on, Chuck. Look at that.
There was a right hand by Tucker, and that might have gotten Douglas's attention. But again, it was a good punch, clean punch, caught him flush, and didn't hurt him.
These guys are punching with arm. Good shot. Now you see what happens, Barry, when you throw a combination or throw a series of punches. One or two punches are going to land.
Don't push off. Come on.
Douglas is starting to breathe through his mouth a little bit here, and that's something that you've always said was a danger sign.
Also, the hands start to drop to the side.
Tucker got into it a little bit more right there, but I don't know if it was enough to salvage the round.
Good round. Huh? Yeah, it's champ for the championship, son. We're ready to do now. You can't let him lead. You got to take over. You understand? He can't keep the pace with you. You're too fast, but you can't wait and let him get off.
Right.
You got to get off first.
Okay.
Come on, baby, please. Get off first. There ain't no sweat.
And there's Pinklin Thomas trying to get off first in his dressing room and work up a sweat. Coming up,
Seconds out.
a real heavyweight championship fight.
Get him out, Inspector, right.
Should point out here that Douglas is under contract, if he wins this fight, to meet Tyson next. Tucker is not under contract yet.
And in Tucker's corner, they're just telling him what appears to be pretty basic. You got to get off first, but it's easy in the corner. It's not so easy once you get out there.
Well, for Douglas, that hand pick is going down the drain now, if he should win. These guys here trying to take a breather. Not too many punches being thrown. And in fact, with Douglas he seems the one that's trying to take a breather. And now he's giving Tony Tucker a chance to come on strong.
This is the 8th round, scheduled for 15. Buster Douglas has never gone over 10 rounds, incidentally. Tucker has only once.
You know what I'm fascinated with, though? It's like these guys don't realize you can win the round in the last 30 seconds or a minute. Just you throw more punches.
I think you made that point abundantly clear a few weeks ago.
I always try to make that point clear to steal the round.
But everybody's not Sugar Ray Leonard. I would think it's tougher for a guy like Buster Douglas or Tony Tucker to steal a round than it is for you.
Well, that is true, but then again, I mean, the caliber of fighters that both guys, or the stage of fighters that these both guys are, they can still do it, though. They may not throw as many punches, but again, they can pour it on. I see now Tucker now starting to come back to life just a little bit. But he fights more so in spurts.
Douglas definitely taking a bit of a blow here in this round. I'm not real sure Tucker's taking advantage of it. Remember, they were telling him you got to get off first. So far, nobody's punching.
Well, that round won't go into the time capsule.
You ain't got to set the video. Hold my eye off. Got some shit in my eye. Close your left one. You got me?
No, I think it was the Vaseline or something.
Oh, so you put the Vaseline on the eye?
Yeah.
Put it on the bottom.
Yeah, but
It was on my eye last time.
Ice. Both hands. You gotta work both hands now, because the guy, you understand, he never been hurt and things like that too. Now all these fights, the guys over here.
Harold, how do you have the fight now?
Larry, I got it 4-4. I think in the 5th round, Buster Douglas picked up the action and grabbed the next 3 rounds, but Tony Tucker came on to capture the 8th and even it up.
Okay, I gave Tony Tucker the 8th round as well, but I had only given him 1 round before and scored 1 round even. So on my card, it's 5, 2, and 1. Douglas.
And we start the 9th round. Getting to that part of the fight where neither man has been before, post 10. Tucker has been there once, Douglas has not been there at all. And the temperature here has dropped perceptibly also. 74 degrees on the thermometer that is just a few hundred yards from here. And a little bit of a breeze that's cooling things down.
You can tell the caliber of fighters these guys have been up against by the way they're fighting and the experience that they're displaying. They're young, and once again they're young and they can learn more as they get more fights under their belt. But at this point here, it's just 2 fighters, 2 ordinary fighters.
Well, the fight is going to be won or lost over the course of the next 6 rounds. And if our 2 judges, Larry Merchant and Harold Letterman, don't agree, you have an idea that the judges who are watching this for real might not agree either.
I think the good news, in fact, these 2 guys are fighting for the titles, the fact that they are in better shape than a lot of the other heavyweights in the division.
Now, we saw a couple of whales in there earlier. Greg Page and James Broad, as you mentioned.
That right hand. The right hand. Now, this is what I've never understood. When guys get a guy going, they let up. And with Tucker, he landed a good right hand, and now he's letting up.
Now, Tucker looks to me to be a little bit tired. He doesn't quite have the snap he did. He's breathing through his mouth, sort of gasping a little bit.
The same kind of body shot, right hand to the body that Tucker's throwing, he's throwing a couple of those to the head. Because of the left turn southpaw just then, Douglas turned southpaw and scored.
All right, get clean back. 1 step back, here we go. Okay, you can fight out if you want.
Tempo of the fight has slowed down a great deal here as we wind down toward the end of round 9, coming down toward 10 seconds remaining.
Time. Now, if you go down there 1 more time, it's going to cost you a point. 1 more time, okay? Come on.
I think you heard that at the bell.
1 more time.
Well, we want to remind you of some other interesting programming coming your way here on HBO. For the umpteenth year in a row, is it 11, I believe, we'll be at Wimbledon at the All England Courts. That starts June 22nd. We'll have daily coverage. Larry Merchant and I will be there. As a matter of fact, Sugar Ray Leonard, you're going to make a guest appearance there.
Yes, sir.
Barry McKay, Arthur Ashe, Billie Jean King. A lot of fun, a lot of work, and a great event.
Keep backing up. Keep backing up. You can get when he hit me. You go forward and start punching. He cannot defense against 3, 4, 5, 6 punches off the chair. Okay. He punch you, punch right back.
Exactly like Dan said, push him back with 3 or 4 punches.
That's Tony Tucker's father's voice you hear. He's been sort of watching this unfold and can't hardly stand it because a lot of money is slipping through their hands. Whichever fighter that does fight Tyson will make $1 million.
We start the 10th round. Pace is slowed. Snap into punches not quite what it was for either man. The word epic does not come to mind.
Well, these guys have not spent that much energy, although Buster Douglas have put a little bit more into the fight than Tony Tucker. And I thought that crosses guys' minds, especially ones that never been past 10 or 12. You think about the 15-round limit. I know when I fought Benitez, I thought about 15 rounds, whether or not I should save some for the later rounds. But these guys have not burnt that much energy.
Mike Tyson said the same thing the first time he went 10 against Quick Tillis.
You think about it, Barry. I mean, it's on your mind. You say, well, I want to save a little bit for the last 2 or 3 rounds.
Well, it's the unknown. You haven't been there before. It's another 15 minutes.
But it's no difference, I think.
That was a right hand by Tucker. Not a bad shot. And Douglas appears to be hurt.
He's really hurt. The right hand is doing it. Now, if he let his man off.
Douglas looks tired in addition to being hurt. Right hand again by Tucker. Douglas on wobbly legs, about to go. Tucker presses him. Looks like he's a punch away.
You need more than one punch, Barry. He's come up the left hook. There was the left hook there.
And a right behind it and another right. Douglas is in deep trouble on the ropes. Almost halfway through the round.
Stop the fight.
And Mills Lane, I believe, has stopped this one. He has. It's over. Mills Lane saying that Douglas unable to defend himself, and Tony Tucker with a huge 10th round has come on to win it after a slow start.
I'm a little stunned. I thought the fight was ended a bit prematurely, but I can't fault Mills Lane. And that one came out of nowhere. We saw Douglas seeming to get a little tired in the last few rounds, but we didn't know how tired he was until he got hit with a punch in that round. And just everything just seemed to fly apart at that point.
Well, a big surprise in how quickly it ended, but Tony Tucker, who was clearly the stronger fighter over the last couple of rounds. Let's look again. There was the right hand, Ray.
Well, I thought the fight was justifiably stopped because you notice here that Douglas is not throwing any punches. He's not retaliating at all. Tony Tucker hurt with a good uppercut and followed with a good right hand. There was a right hand that started things off. And at this point here, Douglas appeared to be defenseless. He's not doing anything. The uppercut by Tony Tucker, throwing more punches than he threw in the earlier rounds.
Then he turned him around and he got him on the ropes, and it looked for a moment as though Douglas might be able to weather things. But then a combination again by Tucker. That was the end. Douglas was on the ropes defenseless, and Mills Lane stepped in and stopped the fight. And you're looking at the new IBF champion, Tony Tucker, undefeated now in 34 fights. He was a great amateur. I think you could see by his style why and how he was a good amateur. He won 115 amateur fights. But he just hadn't beaten anybody before tonight. And I suppose there are those who can question whether or not he beat anybody tonight either.
Well, that's besides the point, I feel, because he won the title. I think getting the right guys, he can gain the experience, the necessary experience.
Let's get the official decision now from the ring announcer, Chuck Hull. Chuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute, 36 seconds of the 10th round. Referee Mills Lane stops the bout. The winner by a TKO and new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Tony Tucker.
Well, a moment in the sun for Tony Tucker, the new IBF heavyweight champion. And he will try to make his way over to Larry Merchant, who right now is with Tony Tucker. And as soon as we get our camera set up there, we will go up to Larry Merchant with the winner and new champion. Let's go right now. Larry, you got it.
All right, Tony Tucker, the new IBF champion. Tony, it looked like a long night for you in the first 7 or 8 rounds. You looked stiff and a little anxious. How were you feeling up until the end?
Well, Larry, I had a lot of pressure on me. It took me 7 years and 34 fights to get here. The pressure was just a little too much. I was tight in there in this fight because I was so anxious. But first, I want to give all thanks to the Almighty God. I'm a God-fearing man because without him, I wouldn't have won this fight. It was him that initiated me to win this fight. The IBF.
Are you going, Tony? Are you going to fight Mike Tyson next?
Yeah, I'm a fight. I mean, if that's what's next, I want to unify the title. It was tough. I learned a lot in this fight, but I had pressure and perseverance. It took me 7 years to get here, Larry. I had a lot of pressure on me, but I thank God I won it. I'd like to thank this man here, these two men right here, Donald Foster and Luther Burgess, because this is the man here that got me in condition.
Tony, you're understandably elated, but we've got another fight coming up. Congratulations, and back to Barry and Ray at ringside.
All right, thanks very much. Ray Leonard, Tony Tucker, now 34-0. Impressed, unimpressed? What do you think?
Well, the earlier rounds were not that impressive, but the fact of the matter is he came on strong and was able to do away with Buster Douglas.
So the 10th round TKO, and Tony Tucker is the winner. He's the new IBF champion. How long he will be a heavyweight champion remains to be seen. But now the stage is set for another heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Dance to the song they're playing on the radio. While color lights up your face. Way through the crowd to an empty space.
I'd rather be knocked out than go to a fight like that, have to hold and, show people that show them that your emotions, that you're frightened and intimidated.
And I want to perform because the last fight, the Tyson and Bone Crusher fought was a waltz, and I don't plan to do the waltz.
If you say run, I'll run with you. If you say hide, we'll hide. Because my love for you would break my heart in two. If you should fall into my arms, tremble like a flower.
Anybody that takes the Bone Crusher Smith fight seriously and looks at it and say, well, this is Mike Tyson at his best, and this is the fighter that I expect to fight when I fight Mike Tyson, they're going to be in for a lot of trouble.
I think that Tyson's so used to going in and racking guys on the chin and knocking them cold and walking away. I think Smith just proved the point that, the kid is not invincible.
I'm always there to fight. I'm always there to give the people their money's worth.
He holds both the belts. So I respect him. I have to respect him because he's a champion. But the night of the fight, after the bell ring, I have no respect for him at all.
We're live from the Las Vegas Hilton.
We're awaiting the start of the big one, the fight between Gerrie, Quarry, and Ken Norton.
In a heavyweight elimination match. Your judges for the main event are Jack Gordon and Bill Reck. Timekeeper Fred Abatello, and counting for the knockdowns at the bell, Paul Venti. Referee for our main event, Johnny Lobianco. Making his New York ring debut from San Diego, California, wearing blue and white trunks, weighing in at 218 1/2 pounds, the fourth ranked heavyweight in the world, Ken Norton. And his opponent, fighting out of New York City, wearing green and white trunks, weighing in at 207 pounds even, the third ranked heavyweight in the world, Irish Gerrie Quarry.
Well, John, I guess there's no denying the Garden crowd seems to be shading Quarry insofar as the favorite is concerned.
Well, I don't know, Len. There were some mixed boos and cheers in there. Kenny Norton is fighting his first fight in New York. Gerrie Quarry's been here many times before. The last time he was here, he was defeated by Joe Frazier. Johnny Lobianco is giving him the instructions right now. Pick it up.
Do not leave your corner until I call you. If you're in the down position and the bell rings, the count will continue.
Gerrie is trying to put the sight on Kenny, but Kenny's not even looking at him.
Expect a clean fight. When I tell you to break, get out nice and clean. No rabbit punches, kidney punches, no deliberately hold. You shake hands now. Good luck to both of you.
That's Kenny Norton. Gerrie Quarry walks to their corners. Big fight for both of them. This is a must fight for both. Here we go. Round one, Len Dillon.
Quarry right away with that left hook at Norton. I would say that Norton here will try to box and keep Quarry away. Quarry, on the other hand, will try to get in close if he can. Gerrie likes to work inside. Norton's got a good stiff jab. Norton scoring effectively.
They're getting off fast, man.
Well, the crowd loves it.
Watch Quarry's hook. That's the punch to look for with Quarry. Norton has very, very good jabs.
Quarry at 218 and a half. Norton at 218 and a half. Quarry at 207.
Norton's big weakness is that he drops his right hand. Watch for that, and and that's a bad, bad weakness with a man like Gerrie Quarry, who fighters say has the best left hook in the business.
Now, those two lefts by Quarry did land, one to the body and one to the head. The one to the body seemed to be much harder and more effective. Quarry is a shade over 6 feet. Norton, of course, is 6'3". And Norton has a big edge in reach, 79 inches to Quarry's 72. That left did get into Quarry's face. Quarry's nose is a little red already.
Quarry 207 pounds. Norton 218 and a half.
That left hand is scoring.
That's that jab, Len. Watch that. It's a good one.
It's a long left. That's a 79-inch reach that Norton has. That one was picked off. That short right shot did score alongside of the left side of Quarry's face.
Quarry is tight. He can't get off.
About a minute left to go in round number one. I don't have to tell you, Quarry's in green. Norton's in the blue. The body. Quarry's left to the body hurt him. That's right up by him on Norton. .45 seconds left in round number one. It's a good first round. That left is sticking into Quarry's face. Referee is Joe Lobianco. 30 seconds left in round number one. Norton trying to keep Quarry away. That left of Norton's sticking into Quarry's face. It's a good left, too. It's a stiffer. Raising right hand. 15 seconds left in round number one. Left again by Norton. Two of those blows landed, a left and a right by Quarry on the head.
It's almost over. There it is. That's the end of round one. It was a good one. I'd have to give Norton the edge in the round. The jab is what's in it. You know, they say that styles make fighters. Norton's style will give you a rundown on him. He's a boxer puncher, at least that's what they say he is. And the book on him says that he doesn't hit hard. But any guy who has 25 knockouts in 35 fights, he's got to be doing something hard. And they also say that he's faster on his feet than Gerrie Quarry, and that he has one of the best jabs in the heavyweight division. And man, that is no lie. His jab is almost as good as George Foreman. Gerrie Quarry, they say, has the best left hook in the heavyweight division. He's a good combination puncher. He takes a good punch. And he took the best of Ali and Fraser, incidentally. Smarter fighter than Norton, they say, because of his experience. He can't seem to be to win the big ones, and that seems to be the big rap on Gerrie Quarry. We're getting ready. Here's round two.
Well, Quarry's left eye seems to be bothering him. He was rubbing it in the corner. And that's understandable. He took some good stiff left jabs from Norton. As a matter of fact, Gil rubbed some medication over that left eye of Quarry. It's not cut, it's a little red, that's all. But it could be the start of something. We'll watch it for you. That left did bounce off the top of Quarry's head. That left did get into Norton's body. Those are heavy punches these men are throwing. The right did not get it. That right under the heart of Norton did land by Quarry.
Quarry doesn't seem to be set when he throws that right hand. He's not digging in. He's not getting set. He's not getting any leverage in his punches at the moment.
Right now, John, he's worrying about Norton's left hand, and that's bad.
Well, he took enough samples of it. He should be worried about it. I think he's hurt. I think he's hurt because of that left hand. He's got a look on his face like a hurt fighter.
Both boys, 29 years old.
Gerrie's hook is not as sharp as it usually is. Once he throws that right hand and he cuts down out of trouble. Norton is a smart fighter.
About a minute and a half left to go in round number 2. Norton in the blue. Quarry in the green. Short right uppercut by Quarry. A left and a right. Left hook by Quarry landed. He took a right to the jaw, Quarry did.
Neither one of them using the ring. Neither one of them dancing around. They're standing there slugging.
Those body blows by Quarry may be hurting Norton. That left landed.
Follow-up punch by Quarry might have done it that time. There goes that jolting jab by Kenny Norton.
Right uppercut by Norton was good. Another one by Norton. Jabbing across by Norton. Good. 20 seconds in round number 2. Short right and left by Quarry. Partially blocked. Norton is using a short right uppercut to keep Quarry away when he gets in close. About 6 seconds left in round number 2. There it is.
That's the end of round number 2. 3, Glenn Dillon.
Clancy working on that left eye of Quarry's. They put an ice pack on it. Those left jabs are getting in by Norton. A lot of them. And they hurt. Right uppercut just grazed. Whoop, there's a cut. There's a cut on Quarry.
Right eye.
Right eye.
Actually, it was the other eye that was bothering, wasn't it, Len? Earlier?
The other eye that was bothering him, but it's what?
Now he knows he's cut. Well, he's really getting hit now. He's really getting hit. That eye looks very bad. Norton hit him with every one of those punches. He pinpointed every one of those punches. Quarry is in trouble.
It cuts above the right eye, just around the end of the eyebrow.
And the blood is inside of his eye. The blood is inside of his eye. It's hampering his vision. There's no doubt about it. He's still strong. He's fighting. Norton covering up real well. Another shot on that eye by Norton. Norton fighting a smart fight. He's in a shell. He's not getting hit with those punches as bad as it seems. What an exchange. Quarry doing all the work, but Norton is the one who pinpoints his punches.
John, Norton is really taking a pounding. I don't think he can get away. If he's trying to pull an Ali, he's getting bombed. About a minute and a half left to go in round number 3. Quarry with a cut right eye, fighting desperately.
Quarry's afraid the fight will be stopped because of that eye. He's pouring it on. He's going for broke. A good right hand by Norton hurt Quarry. A barrage of punches. 2 left hands, a right hand by Norton.
Norton is scoring heavily to the head. That right went into Norton's body.
Quarry is really pouring on punches, but Norton is picking off a lot of those punches. I don't know whether it shows up. Now Norton with a combination.
Ahead.
There's no way that this fight is going to go 12 rounds. No way.
About 20 seconds left in round number 3. Referee is Johnny Lobianco.
They're going to have to do a lot of work on Quarry in this corner at the end of this round.
Both fighters throwing haymakers. Quarry has not stopped throwing punches. There's the bell.
Cut on the brow of the right eye. Johnny Lobianco tells Dylan.
Not too deep, the doctor said.
Dr. Harry Kleiman says it's not too deep. There are no marks on Ken Norton. There's Quarry. We have a war.
Round number 4. Quarry in the green. Takes a good stiff left. To the head. All those throws are landing. Norton scoring with those short, jolting hooks and uppercuts. This, of course, will affect Quarry's strategy.
Every one of Norton's punches are landing. He isn't missing with anything. He's playing possum, and then he comes out of the shell. His punches are landing in the midsection to the head. He's just picking his spots. And he hasn't missed a single punch in this round, and Quarry is really hurt. Quarry is really hurt, and that eye looks real bad. The right eye is loaded with some sort of medication. There's the right hand. Really hurt Gerrie. This fight can't last much longer. It cannot go much longer.
John, Norton looks real sharp, doesn't he?
I don't know if that's the word, Les.
Quarry, of course, trying to stay in tight to minimize some of those short, jolting punches, but it's kind of hard.
At the moment, Norton looks like he's fighting out of an armchair. He's relaxed. He's getting his punches across. He's just picking out the spot he wants to hit, and he lands on it. Quarry is a hurt fighter.
Quarry is hanging in there. He took a fearful pounding, though, in round number 3. This is round number 4.
Norton is resting. He takes a little time. He rests, and now he's coming back. As I say, he plays possum for a little while, and then he comes out of his shell punching.
About a minute left to go in round number 4.
Quarry's blinking his eyes as if both eyes are bothering him. Quarry's face is in real bad shape.
Those blows hurt.
Quarry has got to be one of the toughest fighters that ever fought.
Quarry is fighting a desperate fight now.
Kenny Norton always said, the fight I want is Gerrie Quarry. He's got him, and he's got him in trouble.
30 seconds left in round number 4. Quarry taking a battering around the head. This is a big man, Kenny Norton, 6'3", 218 pounds. Quarry is shade over 6 at 207. About 10 seconds left to go. That eye is open now again. All of those blows are scoring.
Everyone counts.
There's the bell.
End of the round. I don't think, Glenn, that Kenny Norton missed a single blow in that round.
Dr. Harry Kleiman is in the ring again, over in Quarry's corner, looking at it, as is referee Joe Lobianco. And Gil Clancy knows he has a hurt fighter on his hands. And they are watching it real close.
Clancy put the ice bag on that eye, and it's hurting him so much that he had to pull away from the ice bag, and he actually yelled at Clancy for putting it there. Told him to take it away. His face is in bad shape. Dr. Kleiman is going to allow the fight to continue.
Referee Johnny Lobianco says the blood is getting into Quarry's eye. The cut evidently isn't any deeper than it was before, and they don't seem to think that it's that serious.
Round 5, and I don't know what they've been looking at because that blood has been getting into that eye since the eye is cut. the very beginning.
Quarry at 207. With 29 knockouts out of 49 fights. Norton at 218 with 25 KOs out of 32 victories. Of course, both have said that they wanted to win this one. Quarry has threatened to retire if he loses it. Norton will continue to make pictures if he can.
He's making pictures right now. He's painting.
He's a big man, that Kenny Norton. He won 10 letters in high school. 4 in football. Or rather, 4 in track and 3 in football.
Everything is uphill for Quarry now.
That's right, Lance. Quarry's head went back.
I don't think that he has enough strength left to win this fight.
Norton seems to be punching harder.
I think it would be a real good idea right now if they would say this. That's all, Mr. Quarry, at this stage.
This is round number 5. I would say Norton has won 3 out of the 4. Quarry is going to last long. At this rate, Quarry can't last long. Unless he gets lucky.
Quarry's face is just a pulp.
His punches seem to lack steam right now.
Kenny Norton right now doesn't seem to have much respect for him. Very little respect, as a matter of fact, but I noticed something about Kenny. He's getting a little tired. He's probably getting tired from hitting Quarry.
It's about a minute left to go in round number 5.
He's resting. He'll rest. He'll go into a shell. He'll come out punching again.
This is a 12-round bout.
Quarry keeps trying. Keeps taking punches to the head. Kenny Norton has thrown very few punches to the body. Everything has been to the head.
Quarry looks like he's going to go down at any moment.
I don't know what keeps him up. I don't know how he can stay on his legs. That's it. That's the right thing to do. Congratulations, Johnny Lobianco. There is Kenny Norton being carried around the ring. He always said he wanted to fight Gerrie Quarry. He always said that he knew he could beat him if he fought him. He beat him. There's Gerrie Quarry walking over, shaking hands with him. That's the end of the night for Gerrie Quarry, and who knows, it might very well be the end of a career. He said that he would quit if he lost tonight, and he didn't lose close. He got himself beat like he was never beaten before.
2 minutes, 25 seconds.
Of the 5th round, the referee stopping the contest. The winner by a TKO, Ken Norton.
2:29 of the 5th round. Kenny Norton on a TKO.
There's Kenny Norton. There's a happy young warrior from San Diego, California. Everybody in the ring, everybody hugging him, including Gerrie Quarry. Gerrie Quarry, I'd like to say to you, old buddy, you were a game fighter.
We'll take a look at the last 30 seconds of the 5th round.
Ken Norton will get him over here. His handlers are cutting the tape.
Norton
bandage off his hand.
In the purple truck. Quarry in the green. Quarry's punches at this point have lost a lot of their snap and zing. Norton would play possum for a while and then uncork short, jolting hooks and smashing uppercuts. As you can see at this point, Quarry was a very tired fighter, but a very game fighter, but he was being bombed by Kenny Norton. Everything Norton threw seemed to land on Quarry's face. Those vicious jabs and hooks and crosses, they shut the left eye of Gerrie Quarry. They split the right eye of Gerrie Quarry.
Johnny.
And at this point, referee Johnny Lobianco stops the fight, and now we'll go to John Condon.
Thank you,
Ken. Good boy.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Where's the microphone? Where's the TV at? Where's the TV at?
Ali also said that if I won this fight, that he'd give me a rubber match. So
I was going to ask you about that.
Right in Cleveland, when we timed for this fight, Ali said that if I won this fight, we would have a rubber match. If I won it big, and I won it big, therefore I think that entitles me to a
What we're talking about, Ali, what about the fight out in Cleveland tonight? Who do you think is going to win it?
I'm an Ali fan. I like the man quite a bit. I respect the man. I like him.
On the next Real Clash.
Harry Coetzee, the former heavyweight champion. Coetzee captured the WBA crown 13 and a half years ago with a 10th round knockout of Michael Dose. It was a one-shot deal as Coetzee lost his crown in his first defense. After a brief comeback in 1993, Coetzee was back in action this January at 254 pounds. The South African native dusted off club fighter Dan Kazmicki in round number 3. But questions remain. Does Coetzee still carry the power that brought him fame and glory? 37-year-old Iran Barkley is a former 3-time champion who's now giving the heavyweight division a go. The Bronx native holds the distinction as being the only man to beat Thomas Hearns twice. The last time was for the WB Light Heavyweight Championship. Neither man has ever successfully defended a title, but they each want one more chance. One man is stepping back into the fray. One man is stepping up. Barkley Coetzee, tonight's main event on The Deuce. Welcome you to the Hollywood Palladium in Hollywood, California. 2 hours of live boxing action for you tonight on The Deuce. Tonight's main event, former heavyweight champion Harry Coetzee takes on former 3-time champion Iran the Blade Barkley. Hello again, everyone. Glad you can join us. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. And Al, the question tonight is why? Harry Coetzee just celebrated his 42nd birthday. Why is he still fighting?
You know, they dangled offers at him to fight Larry Holmes, George Foreman, lots of talk. So he said, I'm going to put aside my promoter's cap and my boxing manager's cap. I'm going to get back in the ring. And his thinking is simply this. He says there's money to be had out there in a fight with a Holmes or a Foreman or somebody like that. And he said, I'm going to try. I'm going to may have some tune-up bouts, see if I can get myself in a position to do that. It's much like what we've seen in boxing in the last year or so.
He'll be taking on 37-year-old former 3-time world champion Iran the Blade Barkley. Why at the heavyweight?
Well, he has moved up to all of those last 7 fights have been at heavyweight, not against the best competition, but Iran has won those fights nevertheless. This is a lot of weight for him to carry at a point in his career where some wonder if he can do it. The burden of proof will be on him because even at an advanced age, 42, Harry Coetzee still has power in that right hand. Can Iran take those kind of punches?
And you mentioned Barkley with those 7 wins. The record of those opponents combined, 67 wins, 173 losses. Now, neither of those 2 men are the oldest on the card tonight.
That's true.
We will get a look at one of the greats, Carlos Palomino, 47 years of age, 29. Welcome back to the Hollywood Palladium. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. Still to come, our main event, a WBB super heavyweight bout, 12 rounds. Former heavyweight champion Harry Coetzee takes on former 3-time champion Iran Barkley. The Blade, Iran Barkley, fighting in the heavyweight division. That's still to come in our main event, but we got it off with Carlos Palomino, 47 years of age, recording the first 229.5-pound Iran Barkley will fight in our main event tonight. Former middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight champion, now competing in the heavyweight division. He'll take on 42-year-old Harry Coetzee in our main event. Round 2 underway. Born in South Africa, now living in Newport Beach, California. 42-year-old Harry Coetzee, the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, continues his comeback. Tonight he takes on Iran Barkley in a scheduled 12-round super heavyweight bout. But right now, Danny, we will have the decision of this bout and our main event. 37-year-old Iran the Blade Barkley against Harry Coetzee, coming up next on The Deuce. Our main event still to come. 12 rounds in the super heavyweight division. Iran the Blade Barkley and Harry Coetzee. Harry Coetzee, 42 years of age, a native of South Africa, now living here in California. And Al, he's really an interesting guy because I don't know how much he really needs to be in the ring.
Yeah, you know, he's carved out a niche for himself here in Southern California. He's been in this country about 5 years as a boxing promoter, working as behind the scenes in the sport, and got lured back into it, really, I think almost reluctantly, Bob. And here he is, though, and he says he's going to make the best of it.
And he'll be taking on Iran Barkley, 37 years of age, former three-time champion, has had eye problems. And for Barkley, now fighting at the heavyweight, you know, a lot of it has to do with some money. He needs to get some.
Well, it really does. Yeah, Iran made lots of money during the course of time when he was up there in the top of the middleweight ranks, but now is in need of it. And he is a gentleman who I think has to prove he can fight at this heavyweight weight, and the question will be, can he take the power of a fighter like Coetzee?
In his last 7 bouts, his opponents have a record of 67 and 173. Meanwhile, Harry Coetzee back in action. Al with a closer look.
For transplanted South African Harry Coetzee, the glory days of his career came in the late 1970s and early 80s. After 2 unsuccessful bids for a world title, the 3rd time was the charm. In 1983, he battered Michael Dokes, and in the 10th round, the well-known power in the Coetzee right hand paid some big dividends. He would put Dokes down, and he would put him out, and he would win the WBA crown. And this was a moment whose luster is undiminished even now, 14 years later. For Harry Coetzee, it was a moment he won't ever forget, one that changed his boxing career.
I had that dream. I had to win a world title. And the night when I knocked out Michael Dokes, I was excited, but I tried to be myself at all times. I don't want to run away with myself and just be the same person I were before winning the world title.
But a chronic problem for the power-punching Coetzee has been injuries to his right hand, which is now smaller than his left due to extensive surgery. Gerrie's resigned to this.
A lot of people said it must be the power that I have, the strength that my hands can't stand up to it. I don't know, I think I just have brittle hands. And but it's been a handicap, but I can live with it.
Now at age 42, Coetzee puts aside his role as promoter and boxing entrepreneur to once again battle in the ring. In his one outing back, he beat journeyman Dan Kosmicki. But it was a win that, well, Harry put in perspective in line with what he's done before in the ring.
Well, there's so many guys, old-timers back in boxing, doing well. I guess people are living longer now, and I gave it a shot, and I had my first fight on January the 10th. I kind of was, just not one of the best, but getting back into it, and I'm feeling really great now.
If Harry Coetzee has his doubters, so too does Iran Barkley, now a heavyweight, after years of battling the best in the middle and light heavyweight divisions. A lighter, younger Barkley had 2 wars with Tommy Hearns, and he won them both. No one else has ever done that. But can this 2-time world champion carry on now at age 37 and also at over 230 pounds? He knows that this is an important night for him, one that will shape what is left of his boxing career.
All I know is that I just got to beat him, do what I got to do to get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? This level here would establish me of being a true, legit heavyweight. And this is what I must do. You know what I'm saying? And when I turn around and do this, that'll make a great day for me.
Iran the Blade Barkley wants one more shot, and Al, I would think this is a tough road for him in this weight class.
It really is, and one of the wild cards tonight is the power of Harry Coetzee, even after the layoff and at the age of 42. Now, Coetzee talked about the problems with his right hand. 23 surgeries or fractures on the right hand. Ironically, when he came back in that fight he had in January, he broke his left hand, which was astonishing, but it's healed, and he says he's ready to go. He's just a bigger puncher probably than Iran Barkley's used to facing. And the problem is, at this bigger weight, Barkley may not be able to use any speed to act like a middleweight against a heavyweight.
Well, Coetzee said he would enjoy tonight, and you see that smile. He was really soaking it all in. He says, you know, I'm not really doing this, you know, because I have to. I'm doing it because I enjoy it at this stage of my life. He loves being in the United States. His family loves it here, and he says, I want to just have some fun.
Harry Coetzee has always been one of the most ingratiating and nicest guys in boxing during his heyday in the late 70s and 80s, and even since then as a boxing promoter. And when you talk to him, you do get the genuine feeling he likes the sport, and this is just another chance for him to participate in a different way.
All right, what about Iran Barkley? We've talked about him. We've heard from him. He's in the ring. It's a different mindset than Harry Coetzee, a very different mindset.
It really is. Iran Barkley is a guy who, as you said, needs to fight. And what he needs to do tonight is do something dramatic so he can get himself a couple of paydays still in this heavyweight division.
Former middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight champion. Now he's fighting in the heavyweight bracket. For the introductions, our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, we welcome you to the Hollywood Palladium for the featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Peter Michaels, World Wide Web Casinos, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the World Boxing Board president and supervisor is Thomas Hogan, along with the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Willie Buchanan, executive director is Richard DeCure. Introducing to you our physicians, Dr. Robert and Adam Carnes, along with Dr. Alex Sinclair. Timekeeper is Debbie Garcia. Our judges scoring this bout from ringside, we have Marty Denkin, Mike Tate, and Pat Russell. Presenting to you our referee in charge of our main event, we have Robert Bird. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBB Super Heavyweight Championship. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing red trunks with white trim, fighting out of the Bronx, New York. He weighed in at 229 1/2 pounds. With a record of 40 wins, 12 losses, he has 24 wins coming by way of knockout. As one of the great warriors of the ring, please welcome the former middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight champion of the world, Iran Blade Barkley. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner in this 12-round vacant super heavyweight championship bout, wearing black trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and representing Newport Beach, California. He weighed in at 253 pounds with a record of 33 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. He has 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, continuing his comeback trail, introducing the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Gerrie Coetzee.
Let's take a look at the rules as governed by the WBB. That's the World Boxing Board. 3 knockdown rule in effect, standing 8 count in effect. Fighter may be saved by the bell in any round. 10-point must system and a cut rule that'll go to the cards after the 4th round starts.
My commands at all times. The championship fight.
Robert Bird, the referee.
Let's do it.
See Coetzee and Barkley. When Coetzee and Barkley step into the ring and get ready for this fight, it'll be the beginning of the answer to those questions we asked at the top of the show. Barkley, only man to beat Thomas Hearns twice. Fought the likes of Nigel Benn, Michael Nunn, Roberto Duran, James Toney, Henry Mosk, and there's Gerrie Coetzee. He won the heavyweight championship almost 14 years ago at 215 pounds. He is 253 pounds tonight.
Well, Iran Barkley walking right to him and trying to crank up those hooks. probably Barkley's best punch. We may get an answer early as to whether Barkley can deal with the power of Coetzee, because he's going right to him.
In the last year, they've each defeated Dan Kosmicki. An 8-round decision for Barkley in September, and in January, a 3rd-round knockout by Coetzee. Coetzee has 4 first-round knockouts. Barkley has 7. Barkley has been knocked out 5 times. Coetzee twice.
Robert Byrd is going to have his hands full. He's already warning Coetzee about a holding. You know, Iran Barkley's just walking right in. He's able to do it. But I'll tell you what, if he would just jab his way in a little bit, he'd be much more successful.
All right, break clean. Stop punching. Stop. Step back. Let's go.
Coetzee looking to counterpunch. Barkley missing with the overhand right.
Your hands loose. Let's go. Let him go, Gerrie. Stop. Stop.
Approaching the midway point of round 1. Coetzee retired in 1986 after getting knocked out in the first round by Frank Bruno in England. Made a brief comeback in 1993 with 2 wins, then stepped away again for 3 years and 3 months before returning in January of this year. Barkley has a 1-year layoff on his resume from August of '89 to August of '90.
Barkley throwing that left hook, but not throwing it really in a very compact way. And there's the jab from Barkley. And Coetzee's jab. Coetzee has already, I think, established to Iran Barkley he's got some power. Even with a couple of those strong jabs. At least power that Barkley hasn't seen. Nice hook by Iran Barkley.
Stop. Stop. I got you. Let me go.
Barkley's attack has been very one-dimensional here, doing nothing but throw the hook. Right hand by Coetzee, I think, got Barkley's attention there.
Barkley just coming in with his head forward.
Very, very uneven performance by Barkley in the way he's attacking Coetzee. Really, technique is lacking there.
Oh, he's just bull rushing and hoping that he lands a bomb. Final seconds of round 1. This one is scheduled for 12.
Soccer sure is for you.
Here's Iran Barkley cranking up the left hook. That was his best punch probably of round 1, and he just missed with the uppercut.
Round number 2 underway. We mentioned Barkley twice fighting Hearns and Duran and Nunn and Ben and Van Horn and Tony and Moss and Sumbu Kalambe. How about Coetzee? He fought Leon Spinks.
Knocked him out in 4th round. It's a long time ago.
Numbers in round 1. Close round.
Barkley landing a little bit more. Again, there's a right hand by Coetzee. Well, it's going to be there goes Barkley.
3, 4.
Well, that's a natural heavyweight against a middleweight.
Hey, you all right?
I was going to say it'll be a question of which punch does the most damage, Barkley's left hook or Coetzee's right. We got our answer.
Coetzee has 2 second-round knockouts.
Coetzee using the right hand pretty effectively, and of course that was his trademark in the old days.
Come on, guys, push off, please. No punches. Go.
Barkley, though, weathering the storm here a little bit. Trying the left hook. Now, only 4 of his punches in round 1 were jabs, Barkley, so he's throwing primarily the hook. That's about all he's throwing, really.
All right, come on, guys, your hands free. Push off there.
So despite that knockdown here in round 2, Barkley's still attacking.
So hard to get a read on anything out. You know, Coetzee has a successful business, and he's just boxing for the heck of it almost. Barkley is from the opposite end of the spectrum. Coetzee looks like he's just enjoying himself.
I got you. Stop.
Well, Harry Coetzee, especially in against a man who's come up to heavyweight, was able to kind of push him around a little bit and absorb some of those punches, and so far hasn't hit with anything huge.
His right hand from Coetzee not landing flush, and Barkley able to answer back. There's a left hook from Barkley.
Go.
Final seconds of round 2.
I got you. I got you.
That's the end of round 2. We'll keep it here as Harry Coetzee heads back to his corner, and so does Iran Barkley.
Come on, baby. Right here on my blade. Wake up, baby. All you gotta do is move your head. How you do it? All right. Come on, baby.
I had some audio problems there, but let's show you a replay of the knockdown.
Iran Barkley walked into a right hand by Harry Coetzee, and that is the punch bounced off the top of his head. Again, that hit on the temple area where your equilibrium will be affected. Kind of a short chopping right. Well, that wasn't the one that knocked him down. Oh, that one kind of grazed off the top of his head. Harry Coetzee continued on later. There was actually a better right hand that didn't send Barkley down, and yet another. Iran's throwing those wild left hooks while he's wobbling off to the right.
And we begin round number 3 in the scheduled 12-round bout.
That was a nice hook that Barkley threw. That one was short and compact.
A chopping left hand from Barkley. And Gerrie gives you a smile, Al.
He looks down here and gives me a little wink and a smile, so I guess that would indicate that he is in control in there. There's the numbers you saw in the last round.
It spelled like Gerrie, but he pronounces it like Harry.
He says Harry Coetzee, although Jimmy Lennon called it Gerrie, but always in the past he liked it pronounced without the J sound.
Utah Jazz, a 78-73 win over the Bulls to tie up the NBA Finals at 2 games apiece. When we are done here in Hollywood, we will bring you here on the Deuce press conference coverage from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City.
The plot is thickening in the NBA Finals. Well, Iran Barkley has hung in there despite being knocked down in the second round. And he's not getting much done offensively, but actually this has been a round in which Coetzee hasn't really done that effective work either. So who knows?
Come on, I got you. Step up. Oh.
Fans trying to rally Coetzee. Boy, he's very comfortable here in the United States. Well, it's a story about his children's first day in America. He scores a right hand on Barkley. And they're able to go to a candy store and get all the candy they wanted, and they went every day, and the freedom of living in the United States. He was thrilled about it.
He's very enamored with being here, and as you said, has worked as a promoter, also promoted a series of shows.
Let him go. Come on, no punches, no punches. Step up clean. Let's go.
The big carrot at the end of the stick here is for him is a possible fight with a Larry Holmes or somebody of that ilk, and he has to show that he's ready for that.
Come on, push off there. Let's work, guys. Your hands loose. Get loose.
I don't know that tonight we'll do that. It may.
Stop. I got you. Go.
Final 15 seconds of round 3. Scheduled for 12 rounds. Harry Coetzee and Iran Barkley.
All right, got a bell coming.
Out of a page from the George Foreman book, Harry Coetzee electing to stand in between rounds. Now Barkley's corner tried to use that as inspiration, saying, look, you can't even sit down. They said to Barkley, all Coetzee has is a right hand. There are the numbers.
Coetzee with a decent edge through 3 rounds. Barkley is able to occasionally get in that left hook as he was a moment ago, but he's throwing that punch too wide. It's not having that huge an impact. And of course, we do have to point out, he's come up from the middleweight division, so how much power he's brought with him remains to be seen. He can get the hook in, though, and he did it again there, but he's going to have to vary his attack a little bit, I think. That was a nice hook. Now that one got Coetzee's attention.
Another left hand. That backed up Coetzee, and now a look of concern on Coetzee's face.
Iran Barkley's starting to tighten up that left hook and get it in. He's doing it over a lazy left hand of Coetzee. One thing we have to take into account, even though Iran Barkley's been fighting not very good opponents in the last 7 fights, with a very big sub 500 record amongst them, the fact of the matter is he's been fighting. Coetzee hasn't been. So even just that alone is a benefit to Iran Barkley. And right now, that's part of what's showing up in this round.
Yeah, the win percentage of those 7 opponents, 28%.
Coetzee's looking for the right hand. That's all he's getting ready to throw now. But I tell you what, I think Harry Coetzee is starting to run out of gas a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, Barkley may be a bit too, but Barkley has more left right now. Oh, nice jab by Iran Barkley.
I think the one problem here is for the first 3.5 rounds, Coetzee looked like, well, I'm just enjoying kind of being back in the ring and boxing again, and it's not a bad deal, but now some of these punches are having effects on him.
I think he and his people thought Barkley would go after about the first or second right hand, and when he knocked him down, they for sure thought it. Now, Iran Barkley says, well, you know what? I remember how to throw this hook. And there's a telltale sign. Coetzee did not counter him with the right hand when Barkley was in position for it. I don't want to say those left hooks are telegraphed, but they're coming by way of Encino. And they're still landing.
Closing seconds of round 4, and that's it. They're pointing to Coetzee standing.
What you gotta do is throw a few jabs right hand. Some jabs right hand. We gotta do it. Okay? It's your fight. You got nothing left.
Iran Barkley cranking up the left hooks and throwing them. There's one that landed. Then using the jab and the straight right. If he were to do more of that, he would really be successful in this bout. He needs to vary his attack a bit, but really, he's able to land those hooks no matter what. And there he throws yet another one in. In fact, 33 of 46 power punches by Barkley were landed in the last round, and you see evidence of that right here with those hooks.
All right.
An animated Victor Machado.
As Victor can be on occasion. Trying to pump up Iran Barkley. I keep saying Barkley has to alter his attack and vary it a little bit, but you know what? He's landing those hooks every time he throws them, so maybe he doesn't need to. And that's the punch that knocked Tommy Hearns down a couple times, knocked him out in one fight and helped Iran beat him.
Oh, there's a good right hand. That hurt Coetzee.
Coetzee hanging on now.
I got you. Stop. Stop. Let him go.
Ice coming out of Coetzee's trunks. Coetzee told us, and so did Palomino today at the weigh-in, we're going to do this,
I got you guys. I got you.
but we're not in it to get hurt. Okay. And Coetzee may be reevaluating as this goes along.
Well, he has certainly taken a lot of shots here from Barkley, and not much offensively is coming from Coetzee. That's the one telltale sign. He isn't really throwing too much back.
Go over there. Stay there. Stay there. I got time.
Yeah, they're going to sweep the ice out because there's ice in the trunks of Coetzee, and it's been spilling out, and that's dangerous for both men.
Barkley, when he misses with those hooks, it's up to Coetzee to throw the right hand and make him pay for it, and he just seems incapable of doing it. We really haven't seen anything in the last round or so from Coetzee of an offensive nature. Coetzee has not thrown one punch yet in this round. Now one jab, and there's the second one.
3, 4.
No punch, stop.
And Barkley, as you see, his punches are very wide, so the fact that some of them are landing doesn't speak well for Coetzee's defense right now. Well, Barkley weathered that knockdown in round 2, and since then it has been his power that has made the impact.
Come on, Gerrie, hold it.
If Barkley would use his jab and throw the straight right like he did earlier in the last round, I think he would make this a whole different fight. He's just resigned himself to throwing those wide hooks. Even at his worst, Barkley always had a higher skill level than this, and so this is,
come on, get out of there. Get out of there.
an indication of where he's gotten to as a boxer, because really those punches are not being delivered very well. And Barkley, even though he was more of a workman-type fighter, he knew how to deliver these punches.
Final seconds of round 5 as Barkley just continues to tee off on Coetzee.
If you're successful in the world of sales,
Barkley mixing in an overhand right that landed, and that was a good shot that sent Coetzee backwards. He's mostly thrown left hooks. In fact, only 25 of the 220 punches that Barkley has thrown are jabs, so he has completely abandoned that weapon.
Numbers in round number 5.
Barkley with the edge. Coetzee only throwing 23 punches in that round.
Al, your scorecard after 5 rounds.
As we take a look at it, I have Barkley ahead by 1 point in this bout. Coetzee winning the early portion of this fight.
I got you, stop. Let's go.
Good right hand by Coetzee, hurt Barkley.
Yeah, chopping.
Oh, nice hook though. Boy, just when you think Barkley has had it in this bout, he comes back.
Let's work.
Both men are tired, and really, the technique in this fight is all but gone. So I guess it's going to be a question of who has the will to get it done in terms of stamina, what there is of it, and power. And it really does boil down to the Coetzee right hand versus the Barkley left hook. Which guy can hurt the other guy and keep him hurt with either of those punches?
1 minute to go in round 6. Remember, this is scheduled for 12. This is a WBB Super Heavyweight Championship.
The prospect of this going 12 rounds is frightening. See the cut on the bridge of the nose of Harry Coetzee. Courtesy of some of those left hooks and right hands. There's a good right by Barkley. Every time he throws the overhand right, it's a surprise to Coetzee, and it's probably going to land because Coetzee has seen almost exclusively the left hook. Seconds to go in round 6.
The midway point of the bout. Coetzee and Barkley on the deuce.
Stop.
Welcome back to Hollywood, California. Bob Hopple along with Al Bernstein. Carlos Palomino, a first-round knockout of Rene Arredondo. In our first bout as Palomino continues his comeback against a defenseless Arredondo. And here Iran Barkley and Harry Coetzee in the ring. Round number 7 underway. Take a look at the punches through 6 rounds.
Barkley with an edge of about 15 punches. It's close, and there's the knockdown by Coetzee to be tossed into the fray, which gave him an extra point. So you can see this is, at this moment, a pretty close bout.
Come forward, Gerrie. Come forward.
We'll take a look at Al's scorecard.
Barkley ahead by 1 point, despite that knockdown round.
I concur.
All right, come on, get loose.
Barkley keeps throwing that wide left hook, and Coetzee tries to counter in between. I don't think they want to break, truthfully. And as this fight goes on here, we're already in the 7th. The fact that they made this a 12-rounder, I don't think either man's going to be happy about that once we hit about the 8th or 9th or 10th round.
Initially, Barkley said at the weigh-in he was not going to fight 12 rounds. Then when we arrived here at the arena tonight, we were told it was back to 12 rounds.
Get loose.
Coetzee said he was going to get back into some boxing and continue to promote and manage. Enjoyed it. See where it took him. I don't know if he's enjoying the answers right now. And for Barkley, where does this place him on the map?
Well, at this point, this is a very uneven, at best, performance by Barkley winning the fight, but this is not the Iran Barkley we've seen on other occasions. I mean, clearly his technique is awful tonight. He's not throwing punches very straight. He's obviously not in the greatest of condition to be a 230-some. And Coetzee, for his part, looks like a 42-year-old guy who's in his 2nd fight after a long layoff. That's about really what you can say.
Final seconds of round 7. Barkley and Coetzee, this one scheduled for 12.
Anyone coming to my place?
From the Bronx, New York, Iran Barkley, 37 years of age, 40-12, 24 knockouts, 229.5 pounds tonight. Taking on Harry Coetzee, the former WBA heavyweight champion. He weighed in at 253 pounds in the 2nd fight of his comeback.
Oh, push off clean. There you go.
And only his 3rd fight since 1986. Take a look at the numbers.
Barkley with an edge in the overall numbers. Not a huge edge. That's not the kind of thing that would denote some big decision. But of course, you have to, as always, think of where the numbers are placed in a round and a bout. Barkley going to the body. I'll tell you what, the next guy that decides they want to go to the body a lot might be the guy that wins this fight, because both are tired. And I thought that was a good idea by Iran Barkley to go downstairs.
Barkley went down in round 2. Coetzee had the better of the action in round 3. And since then, Barkley, especially in rounds 4 and 5, landed some bombs. Coetzee has not gone down yet.
Push off clean. Let's go. Get loose.
Coetzee lands a nice little straight right hand, and Barkley lands the hook. That's really what it boils down to here. Is Barkley going to land some hooks that hurt Coetzee, or is Coetzee going to counter him with the right hand? Does either guy have that left in him?
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Will it happen?
Back him up. Stop.
lumbering is the word we would use right now.
Well, we started the night off with 4 questions. One was definitely answered. Rene Arredondo's career is in serious jeopardy when he was knocked out by a 2-punch combination from Carlos Palomino. And Arredondo has now been knocked out 7 times in his last 18 bouts.
Let's work. There you go. Move them out. Go.
Coetzee got leverage in both those punches. That hasn't happened in about 3 rounds. Is that a portent of anything to come here? We'll see.
Well, Coetzee had mentioned maybe a Larry Holmes, even at Holmes' age, as Barkley scores. That jab would destroy him.
They better not fight Larry Holmes, ever.
That statement sums it up as we come to the end of round 8.
I'm Cal Ripken, and this is my night.
Harry Coetzee strolls out of his corner to begin round number 9 in the scheduled 12-round super heavyweight bout as governed by an organization dubbed the World Boxing Board.
Come out.
Iran Barkley in red. Knocked down in round 2. Numbers in round 8.
Coetzee coming back, excuse me, a bit. Barkley throwing more but not landing as many. Well, now Harry Coetzee throwing jabs and straight right hands. If he keeps doing that, he would be okay. Hasn't done that for about 4 rounds.
There you go.
Somewhere he found a burst of energy. Somebody give him a Snickers bar in between rounds or something? Is he on a sugar high? What's going on here?
Not clean.
You know, normally you and I will talk more during the round.
Yeah, I was
and analyze.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
I was just thinking about that. I would say something if I could think of something, really. I promise. And you know, I'm not being sarcastic or cynical here. The point is, these men are doing the best they can with limited skills at this moment and limited conditioning, and that's the problem. Iran Barkley has slipped back a lot. Harry Coetzee now finding the jab and the straight right hand that is his meal ticket in the old days, but has been not evident for the last 3 or 4 rounds. Barkley lunging with the hook, but it doesn't get there.
Pick him up, Iran. Pick him up. Box.
Coetzee is keeping his distance. I think Barkley did make him respect his power a little bit. He did hurt him with some shots. And so Coetzee trying to jab and throw the right hand, but from a distance and kind of while he's backing up. So he's not getting too much power and leverage into those shots.
final 10 seconds of round 9. Bout is scheduled for 12 rounds. Coetzee and Barkley on the deuce.
On my left, we have snatch. Gentlemen, get down. Let's get it on. One man's pommeling the other. A spectacular extravaganza. A super duper promotion. Just give them a premium lager. Call Gold. Unparalleled, unprecedented. The premium Gold. Excellence in a lager.
Welcome back to ringside here at the Hollywood Palladium. Bob Papa along with Al Bernstein. Action underway in round number 10 between Harry Coetzee, former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, and Iran Barkley, the former WBC middleweight champion, IBF super middleweight champion, and WBA light heavyweight champion. Barkley went down in round 2. Barkley controlled rounds 4 through 7. Coetzee has come on a bit. There are the numbers in round 9.
And Coetzee with a big round 9. Threw some pretty good jabs and right hands, at least in the context of this fight.
Al, your scorecard after 9 rounds.
I have the fight even, 85-85.
I agree.
Coetzee could actually win this bout from the outside doing this, because he's got the jab and the right hand going, and Barkley's lunging with punches. What that would do, I don't know for him. I think they were fully expecting, he and his people, the promoter of this bout, who before the fight really was confident that Coetzee was going to knock out Iran Barkley. I think that's what they thought.
Whoa, that hurt Coetzee. That caught him flush, and Coetzee is hurt.
Not even the best hook that Barkley has thrown. Now they got to think about stopping this, because this is a 42-year-old man getting whacked in there. They got to get in there and stop this pretty soon.
Coetzee holding on for dear life. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round under the WBB rule. Barkley just teeing off. What will referee Robert Byrd do? They should just throw the towel in Coetzee's corner. Throw it.
He's going to get hurt. They need to stop this fight right now. They did.
Hopefully Gerrie Coetzee's comeback is over.
Hell of a try, hell of a try.
And for what it's worth, Iran Barkley is the new WBB super heavyweight champion. And now there's a fight over on the far side of the ring with some fans. Guy just fired a right hand.
Well, you know, obviously there was some. There is Harry Coetzee with his promoter, and this is not the way they anticipated this outing going. They were very confident going in here, and even we're talking about throwing a challenge out to Michael Moorer, etc. Obviously, that's something that would have been ill-advised based upon the way this fight went. Harry Coetzee is a delightful man, as is that man, Iran Barkley, by the way, who is a great guy. I think, in all, and I don't think it's too opinionated to say this fight showed that Harry Coetzee's comeback was ill-advised, and it also shows that as a heavyweight, Iran Barkley should not be in this weight division, even though he ended up getting the win and struggled through and showed a lot of grit and determination in getting this win.
Take a look at the beginning of the end for Harry Coetzee.
This is the left hook. Now that actually landed up the top of his head. Ironically, it wasn't the best left hook Barkley has thrown, and yet it landed in a spot where the equilibrium of Coetzee was off. And then at this point, Barkley went to town on him.
Should have been stopped right there.
Well, you could make a case for it, but Coetzee did punch back a little bit, and Robert Byrd wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Thank goodness he did get in and stop it when he did. And here's where the stoppage did come. And here, Coetzee was in all kinds of trouble. And
his chin was just hanging over.
Oh, and against a younger fighter with quicker hands, that could have been a very dangerous situation. But Robert Byrd did jump in as quickly as he possibly could. And we look at the end again. The technique of Barkley's punch is not good. And, you know, Iran was a great fighter, but that technique is not good.
Official time of the stoppage. Standing by with the number, our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a time of 2 minutes, 7 seconds of round number 10. Our referee in charge, Robert Byrd, stops the contest. The winner by way of knockout, he is the new WBB Super Heavyweight Champion, Iran Blade Barkley.
Iran Blade Barkley, the new WBB Super Heavyweight Champion. Where this puts him on the map, we don't know, but we'll hear from Barkley after this timeout on the Deuce.
He's always been a different type of fighter. He looks different. when he steps in that ring, he is different.
Hi, I'm Rusty Wallace, and I race for beer. And now you can too. Go to any Hooters restaurant and compete in the great...
Catch the Hooters USAR Stock Car Series every week on ESPN2.
Review flight schedules. Check availability. Even book a Northwest evening.
42-year-old Harry Coetzee stopped in round 10 by Iran Barkley, and hopefully Coetzee gets back to retirement. Let's send it up to the ring and Al Bernstein.
Thank you, Bob. I'm here with Iran Barkley. Iran, when you went down early in the bout with that right hand, how hurt were you, and were you concerned you couldn't continue?
No, I wasn't concerned. I was dazed, you know, and I said, just get off the deck, you know, get your composure together, and just go back to it. You know, don't concentrate on so much to try to knock him out. Just try to beat him. You know what I'm saying? I just got to thank God, man, for this little opportunity right here. You know, it just moved me to another level. That's all.
Well, let's take a look at how you ended this fight against Harry Coetzee. You had him in trouble. You hit him with the left hook. It looked like it bounced off his temple.
Yeah, I planned it to bounce that way because I knew that once I hit him near there, he wouldn't be able to, you know, he was kind of like off balance anyway. So I said, once I had him hurt, I said, well, let me just keep throwing, you know, because now I can't let him recover because he will come back out of this. So, you know, I threw a good right hand, missed that one with a good left hook. But I just started throwing punches in bunches before he could get himself together.
And shortly after this, the referee would stop the match. You had him against the ropes helpless, and he stopped it really at the right time. The only question I guess anybody would ask you at this point is, heavyweight feels big for you, and you're against some big punchers. Are you determined to stay at this weight?
I'm determined. You see, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I want a halfway belt. You know what I'm saying? It could get me to the rest of the belts, but I'm willing to do what I have to do to get to guys. You know, a little more, a little better. You know what I'm saying? All I could do is just say, hey, I just got to go back to the gym and just keep training the way I'm training, and just let God keep working for me.
It seems that in this bout anyway, you were throwing a lot of looping left hooks, a lot of lunging punches. Is that something you're going to try and fix for the next time?
Oh yeah, you know, it takes one step at a time, Al. I mean, I've basically been beating these guys on my true hard experience in my heart. You know what I'm saying? I train for the fight, but I mean, I'm not in the best of shape, but I'm in there. You know what I'm saying? I know I can beat these guys.
All right, congratulations on your win, Iran.
Thank you.
All right, Iran Barkley gets the win. Let's go back to Bob Papa at ringside.
Al, two of the judges had it 85-85 going into that 10th round. Earlier, Carlos Palomino recorded the first round knockout of his career as he continues his comeback, the third. After a 17-year layoff, he knocked out Rene Arredondo in round 1. Join us tomorrow night on ESPN for amateur boxing at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's the United States versus